Hello everyone, welcome back to our YouTube channel Nursery to Varsity, and in today's lecture we will see some programs which are based on for loop. So without wasting any time, let's go straight away to the PyCharm. So now first pattern is we have to print the pattern shown on your screen A, B, B, C, 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 D, 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 and so on. So what's the main logic we're gonna use for this? We can think a simple logic for it, like we can use two loops. One loop will control the number of line and the second loop will paste the character on that line. Got it? Like if we take loop number one, loop number one says, hey, you are line one, I'm coming with you. And loop number two will say, loop number one, just wait here, I will print a character on your line. That's the main logic. Okay, it's kind of funny, it's a kind of childish, but it's the main logic behind it. So let's initialize our variable side and we will input an integer from user, and we will also print a message so user comes to know that he has to enter something. So I am expecting something. Okay, fine. Now time to make loop number one. For I in range site. I hope you are familiar with the syntax of for loop, and if you are not familiar, then you can just go back in my playlist and you can just see the previous video based on for loop. So loop number one is ready. Now it's time to make loop number two. For j in range I plus 1. Why I'm doing I plus 1, I will tell you, don't worry, and we will print the character. But wait, what's a character? We can't print a constant like a, because the constant is changing in every loop. Like for example, if we put a in inverted comma, then the value of a is fixed, even though it doesn't matter how much the loops goes on. Each time the loop will get executed, a will get printed. So we don't want that. So what we can do is we will play with the ASCII values of those characters. As we know, the ASCII value of capital A is 65, right? So in this print section, we will convert this ASCII code into character. To convert it, we use a function known as chr. Okay. After conversion, we will increment the value of ch by 1. That's it. That's the code. Let's run this code. Run pattern 1. I'm expecting something. Let's give it 5. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, okay, sorry. We have to use a special attribute known as end, which will prevent the print function to change the line every time. That's it. And run pattern. A, B, B, C, C. Okay, sorry. But after execution of this J loop, we need to change the line. Okay, so for that we'll just print and this open parentheses. It by default means just change the line. And now we will run it again. Run pattern 1. Here is the output A, B, B, C, 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 D, 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 D. Okay. So in our previous video, we used to debug the program mentally, but now we will use a debugger tool of PyCharm. So before using it, we just have to mark the starting point of our program. So since our starting point of our program is line number 10, so we just have to click over here and you can see the red circle has come over here. So after clicking on it, just go to run and debug pattern 1. So after that, the debugger has started. As you can see, the debugger is connected. Now we have to click on this step into my code. After clicking on it, it's saying connected. Now since we have to give an input, so we just have to switch to the console section. Then over here we just have to enter anything, like for example we are entering 5. After entering 5, we just have to put enter, and as you can see the line has shifted in the line to the line number 10 11 from line number 10. Just go back to debugger section, and here you can see the side variable is assigned 5, which is an integer. Okay, after that again click on it. You can see the I variable is also came into play. The ch variable is initialized as 65, and after that see this I variable is initialized as 0, and after again clicking it, now it's turned off the print function. Now, j is also initialized as 0. After that we can just go to console, and here we can see a has been printed. We can go again to debugger side, and again we will click on this. Now the function is on this line number 15, and we can see it will change the line after clicking on it. Now you can see here the line has been changed, and after clicking on it, we can see the ch value has been incremented to 66. Isn't it a nice way to debug a program? Now coming to the point why we have used I plus 1. See, the loop now in the loop number 1, I ranges from 0 to side. That means 0, 1, 2, 3 and up to the side which we're gonna enter. For example, if we enter 5, then I variable will run from 0 to 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. That means the maximum value of I is 4. And if we write I, then the maximum value of j will be 3. But that's not the case we want. We want j also run equally as I. So that's why we used I plus 1. So j can be run equally as I, because in every line we have to print something. Okay, we can't use n. If we had used n over n in place of I plus 1, then the output will be distorted, because if we had used n, then I can tell you what had happened if we have used n. Let's terminate debugger, and we can also remove the circle. And if we had used n over here, like side, for example, now I'll run the pattern one. Sorry. See, this will be the output. Every character is printed 5 times. That means side times. So as you can see, the output has been distorted. We don't want this, because our main aim is to print sequence by sequence. Like in the first line we have to print A, then in the other line we have to print double B and triple B and so on. That's why we can't do it like this way. So in place of side we just have to use I plus 1. That's the answer of pattern 1. Now let's head back to pattern 2. This is the pattern 2. We have to print this pattern. Let me close this pattern 1. We have to print this pattern A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. The logic of this program is also same as the previous program. We just need to do a little bit tweaking in the previous code, and we can get this code easily. So without wasting any time, let's start. We will initialize a side variable, or this time we can just initialize n, and we can take an integer input from user, and it will tell user to enter something. Sorry. Now time to make loop number 1 for I, and before making a loop, let's initialize our character 65, because A is 65. And now it's time to make loop number 1 for I in range n. And again it's time to make loop number 2, and I hope you have got why we are executing loop number 2 from 0 to I plus 1. Okay, now we'll print the character value of the cat. And oh yeah, we forgot to mention the end attribute. Okay, this will prevent the print function to change the line. And now we will increment this char here only, so it can print next two words simultaneously. and the next loop we will just change the line. This is the code, and if we run this code, for example like this, run pattern 2 pipe stick no keywords argument. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to make this bracket. This is the extra bracket. Okay, let's run it again. See, here we are getting the desired output: A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, etc. Let's use a debugger to debug the tool. Just as I have told you in my previous pattern, first of all we have to mark the starting point like this, then go to run debug your file name. After that we just have to push this button, step into my code, and after that, since we are giving an input, that's why we have to give over here, for example 5, then press enter. Then you can see the line has been changed, and now we just have to press it again. Now as you can see, the char variable is also initialized. Now we have to press it again and again and again and again, and you can see the value of char has been incremented and A has been drawn. Okay, so we'll press it again. Now it has, since it has gone to for j in the range I plus 1, but since the condition has become false because the starting value of I is 0 and j is starting value of j is also 0, the iteration number 1, when j is 0 I is 0, okay, it's fine. But when in iteration number 2 j has become 1 but I is still 0, that means the condition becomes false. So our counter came out from the loop and just go to the has gone to the print function. So again we will press it like this way, and as you can see the pattern has started like making. We'll press it simultaneously for a few times and you can see the pattern it's been drawing. So this is the way we can debug it, and I hope you have understood this program. Now without wasting any time, let's move to our next pattern, and this pattern is literally interesting, and the pattern number 3 is to draw a diamond with Python. So I hope you have studied C or C++, and in those languages we used to make this diamond, and you can search over net. 3 loops are used to make this diamond. One loop is used to control the rows, second loop is used to control the spaces, and third loop is used to print stars over there. So you can think 3 loops, wow, what a hectic program. But as we are doing Python, nothing is bigger or hectic in this language. Python makes things a lot simpler. That's why the name of the playlist suggests Kickstart Our Career with Python, because since Python provides us such simpler functionalities of things, so every company, every cutting edge technologies and every aspect of MNCs are adopting this language. So one should know this language if you want to grow faster. I'm not saying if you don't know Python you can't grow, but if you know Python you can grow faster. Anyways, enough of talking, let's start. So first of all, I would like to tell you the logic. What logic can we opt to make this diamond? So I hope you are seeing a symmetrical line over here. Like you can see this figure is symmetrical among this line number 5. Like the above figure and the below figure are similar. So what we can do is print this much of pattern and then print this much of pattern. Okay, so that means we can, if we take this number of sides as n, then after that we have to print n minus 1. Okay, so let's, without wasting any time, let's do it. Initialize our side variable as integer input, and again enter something. Okay, after that Now we're gonna use the range data type, we're gonna use a list data type, and we're gonna use a special function known as reversed. Okay, so let's make our loop, our only loop. We're gonna use only one loop in this. For I in range. Now for I in list range of side plus list of reversed of range of side. So what the heck I'm writing? I'm writing is like, if we what does this range out what does the range data type did when we used it in our previous tutorial? If we pass an integer in this range, what does it return? It returns a range from that integer. For example, if I pass number 5, then the answer would be 0 to 5. Got it? And since we know for loop is famous for working with sequences, so that's why we are using a list. So because for loop can work with list, can work with sequences, and list is a sequence. That's why we have typecasted this range into a list type. So the value which is stored in this first part of this whole bunch of thing, in the first part the value is 0 to side. That means if side equal to 5, then the value over here is 0 1 2 3 4. And the part number 2, the reverse function does that the range is inverted. For example, the range is 0 to 5, like 0 to 4. Then if we apply reverse function on it, the answer becomes 4 to 0. So in the whole way, if we convert it into the list and then append the whole bunch of things together, then the main combined list is 0 1 2 3 4 3 2 1 0. Getting my point? So basically we had done two steps in one step. Like what was the logic? Like first you have to do this part and then you have to do this part. We have done the whole part together. Okay, now we will print. Now as we can see, how many space are there? We can see it's a minus I, like 1 2 3 4 5. And how many rows are there? 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, so we can clearly write it is a side minus I. This much of spacing we need in every row. Okay, so we just put this into a bracket, and we just need to multiply it with spaces. What does this means? It means if we write 3 into spaces, that means 3 times the space will get printed. If we write 4 into spaces or 4 into a string, that means 4 times that string will get printed. Okay, we will learn the string concept in a detailed version in our upcoming tutorials. So for now, just be with me. Okay, plus now it's time to print a pattern. So as you can see, it's 1 3 5. That means it's an odd number pattern. So for odd number, what we used to write? Yeah, you are correct. 2 into n plus 1 or 2 into n minus 1. So we'll use 2 into I minus 1. And we'll close it and we will multiply and string known as star. That's it. This whole program has completed. Let's run it. Run pattern tree. Say something. 6. Here's your diamond. Isn't it beautiful? Oh, 1 minute. It's like This is something what extra 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. It's same. We don't want this, right? Let me, oh okay, what we have uh, what we have discussed in our logic section, like symmetric one. If first we have to print the pattern like this, and then we have to focus on the below pattern. So as you can see, if how much long the pattern is, first you have to consider the number of sides, and then after that you have to consider number of side minus one, because this is a common part between both of them. So that's why we have to write here side minus one. That's it. Now run pattern 3. Let's write 6. Now you can see a perfect diamond has been formulated. We can also debug the code. For debugging, let's circle this point, the starting point. Click on run, debug pattern 3. After that, click on this button, go to the console, type an integer, let's suppose 6. After that 6, click on it again. The loop has been started. As you can see, the starting value of I is 0. Again click on it. As you can see, the spaces, one space has been drawn. Again click on it. You can see it like this way. See, this pattern has started drawing. If you again click it for 5 to 6 times, then you can see the pattern as it's 60% completed, and so on. We can debug the program. This feature is very interesting. I personally like it very much, and hence this diagram has been completed. So this is all about today's lecture. Hope you have enjoyed it, and if you have any queries regarding today's lecture, feel free to mail us on nerd2wire@gmail.com. Also, to stay updated, you can follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram. Because before coming on air, our updates come over there. Okay, so thanks for watching. Stay tuned, like, share, and subscribe. Hope you're enjoying my tutorial series, and you are free to give feedbacks to me. Thank you. Enjoy learning.